And welcome to another episode of Tales from a Professional Nerd. My name is Bryan Steele, and I will be your nerd today, and every other day that you watch one of my funny little shows. So today's actually going to be a pretty quick day, um, especially considering the last couple have been long ones when I was talking about my squat project. Um, which, by the way, I have to say thank you so much for the people who have shown interest in playtesting, in just chatting about the project, discussing what I envision as a cool thing to do with the squats. So thank you very much, all those people out there who are interacting and trying to and helping me hopefully find these guys an unofficial fan awesomeness out there. Yeah. So let's go ahead and do the week in Bryan. We'll do that relatively quickly because I want to be able to get to the actual meat of today's episode. All right, so let's see. Got to play D&D a couple times. Got to play my Curse of Strahd game, which we are finally. I know I've mentioned this before that that particular book adventure, written adventure, is really hard. It's very hard, and there is very little learning curve for low level characters that get in there and get screwed with. We are finally. It's seeming like we're finally getting into our own. We're finally figuring out, how to work with one another, which characters pair up well when it comes to like combat and things like that. And honestly, we've gained a couple of levels, so we've actually started to get some decent spells and assets and things. My character just found an anti-plant or tree bane axe, which if you think about it, all axes are tree bane if you hit a tree with them. But it's an axe that does extra damage when it hits plants. And so I've got now I've got a constant magic weapon in case we fight ghosts and things, which happen a lot in Ravenloft undead stuff. So that's pretty cool. That game is starting to come into its own, where every combat doesn't feel like this could be our last. They're challenging. We're definitely like pushing ourselves to the limits, but we're no longer. I no longer feel like every time we turn around, oh hey, everybody get your second character ready, that sort of thing. We played in the homebrew game where I am the cat monk, the capoeira cat monk, and it has been brought to our attention that this particular land that we are in, or this area of the land that we are in, kind of crosses realities with the Shadowfell. Which, if you're not into D&D or anything like that, you're probably gonna be like, "Oh, okay, that sounds like a bad place." Well, it's not a great place. It's basically like like an alternate reality, an alternate plane that is filled with shadowy, evil, darkness. Not so great. And so this particular area that our characters are in are is not a very pleasant place for us to be hanging out at night, at least. Excuse me. But yeah, so there's that. I haven't played, aside from video games, I really haven't played much of anything else. Just because I have been so busy lately. Work, which we'll transition into the work stuff now. I've been doing a lot of painting commission, getting a lot of my commission painting done, and Power Rangers stuff is just ramping up. The Power Rangers role playing game, when that becomes available for everybody, I really hope you'll give it a chance. Even if you're not into Power Rangers, realize that system that we've created, that we've designed, is going to have so many cool IPs attached to it, G.I. Joe, Transformers, that your gaming table will absolutely enjoy learning how to use this stuff. And who knows, you might find yourself, when you start looking at Power Ranger stuff, go, this looks like a really fun game, and get into it, and discover just how morphintacular you are. Oof. But yeah, everything else is kind of I don't want to say on autopilot, but working on the Shadowrun novel, working on Renegade role playing game stuff, working on painting commissions. It's all pretty steady. It's kept me pretty busy, but not too busy to enjoy some video games with my kid. My wife and I had to take a short jaunt down to Tennessee to drop off some of her work to a client who was very appreciative and has already drummed up new work for her. Speaking of which, if you haven't gone to her website to take a look at some of her pop culture prints and things like that, you totally should. I've got the link in the description of the video. She does a lot of stuff with like Marvel and DC and Walking Dead, some Viking stuff, and there's more to come. Right now, she's kind of booked up with actual personal commissions. People wanting very specific things, but we're always selling prints. We'll ship them out to you and whatnot. But it is nice to start seeing, now that people are starting to get vaccinated, and it's obviously we're not completely out of the woods yet, but we are in a position where I'm not terrified to leave the house and go someplace, so long as the people I'm with are vaccinated, masked up, that sort of thing. I'm not saying go to a amusement park, or head on down to your local bar and start a karaoke night. What I'm saying is, it is nice to at least be able to go and do go sit on a patio with a couple of friends and enjoy nice weather, that sort of thing. But yeah, so that's really all I did this week. A lot of work, a little bit of gaming, not a lot, but haha. I did over the week receive a couple of gifties in the mail. One of which I have. It's currently drying, so I can't really show you. I've got it glued together, and I can't show you. So I have officially my Dweghom dwarves for Conquest, Last Argument of Kings. I've started putting them together. I won't lie. As far as kits go, they're gorgeous. They're really, really well thought out kits as far as the details and things that are on them. They're of a larger scale. So, I look at these guys and I'm like, these aren't dwarves. When I stand them next to a regular person from Conquest, I realize what's up. But I won't lie, the kits are not terribly intuitive. While I love the product, it will take you a little getting used to put together some of these models. Now, I have been told that the newer kits have gotten better, because the kits that I've put together so far are old kits, and so I'm hoping that that's the case. There is just, in this day and age, especially with rapid prototyping, what is being what it is, and die cut sprues, there is no viable reason why a single, effectively a standing posed model, why his body should be in 4 pieces, and not 4 as in one contains the arms, one contains the legs, one as in front, side, middle, back, almost like a tulip's leaves that come together to form the torso. That's not necessary. It really isn't. So that's something to keep in mind. But on that same that same train of thought, one of the things that I did get, it was a collection, or there was a collective gift from several of my friends and the guys over at Alpha Omega Hobby, which, by the way, I'm going to put their website up there. If you have anything that you need to buy game-wise, and your local store either doesn't carry it, or maybe you're afraid to go to your local store because it's they don't mask up and they're a bunch of gross germ infested places. Who knows? Or maybe you just don't have a local store near you. If you need something shipped to you, if you need them to order something specifically for you, Jake and Ben and those guys out at Alpha Omega, they will take care of you. They're a fantastic shop. Not a sponsor, but they are a fantastic shop. And if you live in the Boston area, go see them. They've got game events. They have shortened hours, safety precautions in place, but they are top notch. They're a top notch company, and you really would you could definitely do worse if you needed to get a hold of game stuff and you sought them out. But between Alpha Omega and a bunch of my friends, they got, I'm looking on the wrong side, they picked me up the brand new Dweghom Holiday Start Playing Pack. So I have not opened this. You'll notice still in its thing, because I promised these guys that I would do an unboxing, and that's what today is. Because I've got so much, work to do. We are gonna just do this unboxing and then move along. But we're gonna do a thorough unboxing. We're gonna take a look at these things, look at them on the sprue, figure out this holiday bonus pack. Now, I don't remember how much this monster is at retail. Let's find out. Bear with me while I use the interwebs to find out just how much this package would cost the average person. That is not the right, there we go. Sorry. Last compliment. Oh, so speaking of Conquest, for the people who are, either they're not into it or maybe they're just kind of getting their feet wet, there's already a handful of armies out there. There are the humans, there's the more regal humans, the knightly humans, called the 100 Kingdoms. Then there are the barbarian humans, the Norse humans called the Nords. There are the Dweghom, which are the dwarves, which are my guys. And then there are the Spires, which I originally thought the Spires were just this evil alien, every army needs an evil guy to pick on. That's not true. The Spires are actually elves. And in this world, the elves are so far and pulled back, and individually, they are so, beyond powerful creatures, but they're also immortal. They're timeless and that sort of thing. So they don't get involved in combat directly. So what they do is they clone these warriors and monsters and things. They basically use alchemy and sorcery and stuff to make their armies to send forward, so they don't have to actually risk their own lives, because they are so important in the grand scheme of things. Well, on top of that, what they have done is they just recently they started trickling out some. Check out this guy. Check out this guy. And there's this big, burly, gray, savage-looking orcs. These big, tough guy orcs, almost like Mayan in feel. They've got headdresses and sickle weapons, and very cool. But that faction hadn't been really talked about. They just said, check out this guy, check out this preview, check out this preview. And what it ended up being is called the Wardrune, which are orcs. They're basically the orcs of this world. And they ride around on velociraptors. They're going to have a T-Rex. They're basically like Jurassic orcs. I don't know anything about their magic. I don't know anything about how they play. But their models that we've seen so far look phenomenal. If I had not already signed on basically to do the Dweghom, I probably would have done the Wardrune. Alright, so what was I saying? I was gonna find out how much this is. The shop. Bum 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 bum. Alright. There we go. But yeah, like the Wardrune have, they've got their regular orc guys. They've got guys that ride dinosaurs. They're going to have dinosaurs by themselves. There's one character called the Predator, who's supposed to be like this master huntsman, but he kind of looks like an orc version of the Predator from the movies. It's very rad. There's a oversized kind of like ogre Wardrune called the Warbred. They fight with pillars. Like, it's not a club. It's they've picked up a piece of stonework and they're gonna clobber you with it. All right, what did I say? I want to do these guys. All right, nope, that does not help me. All right, sorry about that, guys. So the holiday start playing set. So this is the Wave 2 holiday bonus start playing set. Is $115 retail, which that's not bad for what this is supposed to come with, which we're gonna take a look at right now and figure out just how cool this product is. If you want to get into Conquest, obviously there's a start playing set for everybody. Now, I don't know if there's a holiday bonus set for the Wardrune, but I do know there is a start playing set. And they all run roughly that same amount. The actual starter kits, the ones that come with rule books and things, I want to say they're about 150. But there are definitely start playing sets. All right, so first off, I'm going to be thorough. This is actually a very well put together box. If it's not like just a cardboard sleeve with a generic box. It's an actual like almost like board game style box. If you are looking for a place to store your dudes before they're painted or whatever, I'm sure this will probably work out just fine. We have some bubble wrap, which is always good. All right. So we have some one set in a very hard-shelled plastic case called the Okie Dokie Dice. They're red to match maybe because my guys have a lot of fire in their theme. Maybe, I don't know. It's like Fort Knox to get in here though. Yeah, but it was an unexpected surprise. So just some, I mean, if you're a wargamer, you probably have more dice than you know what to do with. But if you're a gamer, you probably are also addicted to dice in your own way. So you're like, oh, that's cool. Okay, so while I'm looking at this, so I got the plastic off of it. I couldn't figure out how to open this. I was like, well, what is it? It is a slide. It's a slide set to hold your dice. And it's got a little plastic doohickey. Now, look, and little inserts. Nothing like little inserts to get in the way of things. Now, I don't know, the actual plastic thing does say, it specifically says dice on it. So, this is the dice box for these guys. They're little just rounded D6s, nothing special about them, no iconography or anything like that. So that is something to point out. They're not special dice, they're just D6s. So maybe if Para Bellum sells Dweghom dice or something like that, you can put them in here. But it's a nice dice box, and they seem to be, there's 12 dice in here. I don't know how many you need to play a game normally, but as we all know, when people start playing, having extra dice on hand is really never a problem. All right, I'll throw it into that plastic. All right, now in here, let's go ahead and show you what the top looks like. So it had that dice spot, but then everything else is just like kind of sprues and bags. So let's go ahead and go through the bags. The first and foremost, now this is cool. This is cool for multiple reasons. So the paint set that they've given me here is from Watercolors, and I actually have never used watercolor paints before. Now we've got a so a lot of paint companies out there like theme their paints, they name their paints, where it's like Blood Angels Red, or Signar Blue, or Electric Arc White, or whatever. And in some cases, the color names are just out there. It's like grounds of K9 brown, and you're like, well, what kind of brown is that? I need to see it. These are named absolutely, like, these are named so basic that if you were shopping for paints, this is going to be a huge help. So there's a metallic copper, and there is a metallic pewter, and their labels say metallic pewter, opaque, metallic copper, opaque. That basically just means that those are just metallic paints. They're just solid paints. And now all the rest of these have got, their names are interesting because they're all from the Antithesis series of paints, but it's a number, or a color and a number. Meaning, so in the case of this first one here, it is Flesh 3. Meaning there's at least a Flesh 1 or 2, possibly a 4, 5, 6, and 7. And it just basically goes to show you where in the hue of flesh tones does it land. We've got orange 4, we've got brown 2, and then we've got red 5. Red 5 is almost a maroon, like it's like almost a brown maroon. So I will be really excited to tell you how these work out. Whether or not I do it on these models or on other models that I'm working on, we'll see. Comes with a paintbrush. Now, it says it's a Da Vinci synthetic. It's not gloss. There's no gloss to it. It's kind of a flat, like just sort of paper surface. Bristles look good, but this will probably a 0 size. This will probably end up falling apart on me. I would assume, the more work I put into everything. Other bagged stuff. Now, most of these bags are just, so it seems like the rest of these bags are just, here is 1 unit's worth of bases and trays. From 1 infantry unit. We have another set of bases and trays for another infantry unit. We have, gasp, another series of bases and trays for another unit. And then we have, I don't know why this is here. I guess we'll find out. 1 spare tray, and seemingly no base unless it's in a different bag. I don't know, but no loose base, just 1 random tray. It could have been a mispack. And then in here we have a little paper thing, or plastic thing, of Oh, they're the unit cards. Depending on how you build these guys, you need to have these cards to build your initiative order in Conquest. So I have not used that yet, but I have watched enough videos to know you got to have a card for every unit. Only other bagged thing in here. Oh, you know what? I bet this is why. Yeah, I bet this is why that there's this extra tray, so it's just a place to put them. Because here is a one bag is kind of split. I need to be careful. Oh, sorry, my UV lamp just stopped working. This is a what are you called? What are you called? You are Arden Keroueg. Now, I've noticed that this game doesn't really have special characters. It's got named soldiers and warriors, but, like, most of their names are so unique. Like, this Dweghom Arden Keroueg, I could absolutely, someone could say, well, Arden's his first name, Keroueg's his last name, but one of the other characters is a dwarf, or a Dweghom Reich. And you know, so like, a lot of these names aren't, there are a lot of these titles sound almost like fantasy names. And so, yeah, could Arden Keroueg be a single guy, a unique model? Sure, but I have not seen anywhere yet that alludes to that being a thing. That being a special character exists. But that's definitely him. He's one of the general type characters. He's got this ridiculously big sword. And then he wears this kind of back / headdress thing that makes him stand out in the crowd. And he comes with a base to put on with your other basing. All right, let's take a look at those brews. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, looks like we have 4 sprues of. By the looks of it, these are the Ballistas or Warriors. Basic guys. Yeah, definitely not the Flame Berserkers, because I'm not seeing any flame on them. But yeah, it's basic dudes with swords and shields, or shields and these big heavy crossbows. One of the things that Para Bellum does is a lot of their infantry units, in fact most of their infantry units, when you buy a box, it has the option of being put together in one of 2 different ways. So in this case, these sprues offer me an opportunity, so I can either make them into just regular warriors, or I can do 1 warrior, 1 ballista is what they're called, the actual ranged combat unit. Even though they're not firing ballistas, they're still called ballistae, whatever. And I'm not sure how I want to put these guys together yet. I know I have to at least do 1 unit of warriors, because otherwise I can't field everything that I've got. I've got too many specials, or restricteds, as the case may be. So yeah, so these guys look like they're going to be not terribly hard to put together. It looks like arms are separate, legs are separate, front and back to your body, shoulder pads and a head, and then a weapon if you're that one of those guys. So that should be cool. Those will be neat. Those will be a fun squad to put together. And now we've got another kind of. Well, no, okay, here we go. This is the same sprue that I just put down. So there's not just 4 sprues. There's 6, 7, There's 8 of them. There's 8 sprues of that unit. So obviously, I'm going to be putting together some basic guys, whether or not they're basic warriors or if they are ballista. We'll figure that out. And then there's 2 of these, which are, I see a standard. Yeah, so these are the command figures for the warriors slash ballistas, to determine who's in command, what are their main things. And then the last part of this that I can see, we've got 2 more sprues. Now these guys look, yes, these are the Flame Berserkers. The Flame Berserkers are, from what I can tell, they are dwarves that freely and constantly set themselves on fire. Maybe with magic, maybe with alchemy, I don't know. But they are warriors that are covered in fire. And I know in game, one of their big traits is if you start in contact with them, you just start taking damage because they're on fire. Now, one thing I will say here, because I got the 2 sprues for the main guys, is there is a lot of plastic mold flash, specifically around these weapons. I am hoping that that's just a mistake, and I'm going to pick up the other one, and it's going to look just fine. Nope, still there. So that is one thing that you'll probably need to pay attention to, is shaving off the extra flash on the different weapons. Although leaving it on one weapon and then painting it with like a shimmer could be kind of cool, give like a glowing weapon. But so there's 2 sprues of that, and then there's just this one little tiny sprue here, the command unit. So it's got a head, it's got a very cool like tuning fork. Here, so I'm gonna put that thing. A little like tuning fork sword, and it's all on fire and everything. And then one of the other arms, I'm assuming, no, I guess it can be anybody's arm. That you put that little claw on a champion or something like that, and it gives them, he's got an extra, like a pincher claw, which your average dwarf does not have. And then it's got the big standard bearer, of course. But yeah, like, woof, all kinds of cool stuff in here. So, before I start putting stuff back, this box comes with 24 Hold Warriors or Hold Ballista, 12 Flame Berserkers, 1 Ardent Carraweg, 37 Infantry Bases, 10 Infantry Stands, 6 Command Cards, and 12 dice, 6 paints, and 1 paintbrush. All for $115. So, I gotta say, even if you are not into this game and you've got the extra money and you're thinking about it, the holiday start playings are fantastic. Like, their worth is amazing. They are going to come with, in this case, it comes with 3 units of infantry and a character. And I know for a fact that the infantry themselves run between 35 and $40. So there's 3 squads there. That's 120, not including the stat cards, the dice, the other character involved who's $20 on his own. Basically, this is just a solid box set to get started. The bonus miniatures and whatever, that's a plus. But like overall, Para Bellum, their prices are pretty good. They, a lot of people will complain when something, something super expensive or something along those lines. But in our hobby, a box like this from GW would cost $170. Like, it's just, you've got to keep things in perspective. And one of the perspectives that you've got to remember to keep is that this is a niche hobby. This is our choice to do this, and so when they decide to put a little extra effort in there, make it cost a little bit more, it is what it is. You either decide you don't want to play the game and you go spend your money elsewhere, probably on a different game, or you go ahead and say, you know what, 115 is not bad for all the stuff I get, and that's going to be hundreds of hours worth of entertainment. Between the hobby, between the games, between talking about it, it's gonna be well worth it when it comes to the actual cashing out for something like this. So I was kind of hoping, I wish I could have the new Wardrun box to show you guys, but I don't, sadly. I'm glad that I was able to do the unboxing for the Dweghom. There are a couple of new units coming down the pipe for this army, one of which in particular, when I get one, and oh yes, I will definitely be getting one, I will probably do an unboxing of that thing as well, because it's one of the first big models for the Dweghom to ever come out. Yeah, so like I said, today is going to be a fast episode because I've got to get back to work. I've got a ton to do in a short amount of time, but I am glad I was able to share this product with you, and as I get a little more free time and I get a chance to put these guys together, get a chance to paint some of these guys, I will absolutely come back and revisit and show you guys what's up with this. And in the meantime, I'm going to put these war colors in my queue of stuff that I want to try and lean towards using. Because I really want to see how they turn out. I want to see how they paint, how they spread, how they thin down. Yeah, so it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a process. I'm a big fan of so far what I've read about the game, but I have not actually played yet. Hopefully that will be rectified soon once I get this stuff put together. Yeah, it's just another week here at the Steel. The Steel Resort, so to speak. I hope I'll have excuse me. I hope I'll have cool new news or stuff to show you next week. If you have an idea for a good topic or anything, put it in the comments. We're coming up on my 100th episode pretty soon, so I'm going to try and plan on doing something kind of special and fun for that when that happens. But if you've got an idea for a topic or anything like that, put it in the comments. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the little bell thing. You know how it goes. But above all those other self-serving things, please do me a favor. Go out there, be safe, mask up, get vaccinated, and above all other things, play some games. Have some fun. We'll see you next week.